Super Saiyan 3 Rosé is a bit of a mixed bag, so how should you build his hidden potential? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are taking a look at the Crimson Masked Saiyan Super Saiyan 3 Rosé and figuring out what are the best possibilities for his hidden potential system. So let's go ahead, let's waste no further time and dive right in. So we have a Dragon Ball Hero Super Saiyan 3 Transformation Boost category key 3 HP attack defense 170% and an additional 30% for crossover allies on his leader's skill. Pretty interesting choice here, but not too affecting of his hidden potential. Where we really want to take a look here is at his passive. So he gets key 3 attack defense 180%. He has an additional attack defense 150% when attacking. He has a high chance of guarding all attacks. He has an additional defense 100% and guards all attacks when there are 3 or more crossover category allies on the team. He launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack when there's an enemy whose name includes Goku, or transfer, and then he transforms when conditions are met. And the conditions are simply turn 5, right? So very, very simple conditions. Although that does mean if he starts like slot 7, that is pretty bad for him in terms of his build. Now, why that's that bad is because, well, in his early phases, he is raising attack infinitely, meaning he can stack attack for possibly 2 turns before transforming if you get him on turn 1. He is also raising defense for that turn as well. When things start to get interesting is when he actually transforms. So once he transforms, he recovers 40% HP, and then from then onward, 15% every turn. He has key 4 and attack defense 200%, and an additional attack defense 150% when attacking. He raises attack defense by up to 150%. The more HP, the greater the boost. He has guaranteed guard, and he launches an additional attack with a 50% chance of becoming a super attack when there's an enemy who includes Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. He can also launch an additional super attack. So he could do up to 3 supers in a normal turn. If you're facing a Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan enemy, he can launch one more attack. So very, very nice there. He is raising attack and defense for only 1 turn when transformed. So you're usually launching about 2 to 3 supers out of him, right? I have consistently seen that with at 55%. So now the question is, once we invest the hidden potential in him, what should we be looking at, right? He is a Fizz type, meaning if we look down here on the Dokkan Wiki at his hidden potential, right? As a Fizz type, he has an innate 5 additional attack, meaning if you invest full additionals, you're talking about a 20 hidden potential nodes in additional, which gives him an extra 40% chance to do an additional attack. Now, normally with attack stackers, right, more attacks means more means a higher attack stat in the long run, and that's kind of what you want out of this guy. However, the only problem is what I have noticed with this guy and his raw power is that it's just not enough. A lot of times when I get him, even with getting Super Saiyan 3 to get to a 2 attacks per turn, he lacks critical hit. He has no innate critical hit built into his passive, so those hits just aren't hitting as hard as they could. So even though he is a Fizz type, I would personally recommend leaning into the critical hit. Now, as a Fizz type, that's only going to grant you an extra 30% boost, but that extra 30% boost combined with another, right? Let's say you add another 10 into 25, right? You're looking at a 45 to 50% critical hit boost. I'd say the trade-off is pretty well worth it. I think he needs it, right? It just, even though he is attacking, he is attack stacking, meaning on a great turn, like let's say you invest a little bit of additionals, and he gets 3 supers per turn, he's hitting 11-12 million on his supers by his 3rd super in the Rose form, assuming he's fully built up. Now that sounds great, but as I said before, without the critical hit to back it up, that damage ends up being barely passable unless he is type advantage. So personally, I would go critical hit to make up the difference there, and then invest secondary in additionals, right? Even with a secondary 11 additionals in him, which is what you would get if you go full crit, you are looking at just under a 30% chance to additional. So if you supplemented your skill orbs by adding 5 and it is possible to pull it, right? 5 and 5 critical hit and combo attack, you've upped this back up to about 30, and this, like I said, up to about 35 to 40%. So I think that's probably the best build for him. I have seen some people go with the evasion, which could be helpful, but again, you're only getting because he's Fizz, he's really only getting an extra 15%, possibly 20 if you add skill orb dodges, but then you are sacrificing what he needs most by doing that, which is the critical hit. So again, for the Super Saiyan 3 Rose, I do think best possible outcome for him is in fact critical hit supplemented with additional nodes and skill orbs. I think that's going to maximize his damage output while also taking into account the fact that he does get that extra defense on super. This guy is definitely wanting to be in slot 2. Don't try to trick him into slot 1 thinking he's going to be okay. In slot 2, the defense he gets on super plus a secondary super will be more than enough. So anyways, guys, that is the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, what was the hidden potential build you went with for Rose? Did you go additionals? Did you go critical hit? Or did you go dodge? Let me know in the comments down below. Would love to hear your guys' different builds. So anyways, guys, that's it for the video. If nothing else, thanks for watching, and aloha.